So tell us about your tool. Because that's exactly what this is. It looks like a...
Well, it's a ASV. Who used to, they sold their company originally to Terex. So ASV came up with the original track design for the skid steer. Yep.
Did not know that.
And then Cat took it on, and ASV helped Cat with their track design. And then Cat decided that they wanted to put metal wheels, bogie wheels on, and metal hooks in their treads. And ever since then they've had problems. And when I was researching, I bought a small Cat skid steer. And I wanted a Forestry mulcher. It was too small, so I bought a bigger Cat skid steer. And I finally got a Forestry mulcher, hooked it to it, wouldn't run it because the radiator was too small to keep the machine cool enough, and it had high flow. And so I ended up selling the larger Cat and buying the ASV. And it's a ASV 120F, and the F is for Forestry. It's got a Forestry package with a radiator the size of a typical engine.
Hey, let's check that radiator out. Yeah. No way. That's the radiator? That's the intercooler right there.
So here's the intercooler and radiator. It literally goes all the way down to way down here. It's that big. It's, you know, this wide by about 3 feet tall, the radiator. And that helps keep it cool while it's running on high for hours.
Have you ever overheated this thing?
No, but I overheated a Cat.
Really?
I wouldn't buy a Cat for forestry mulching, but I'm not against Cat. They make a good machine, but I like the ASV because of that large intercooler. And you know, Cat has the ones for forestry set up where they have the intercooler on top of their cab.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have worked for me the other day or a couple months ago when I dropped that tree on top of it.
I would have crushed it.
They say, ASV says, you can drop a 10-inch pine on top of this and not have it hurt it at all. And I mean, I've kind of tested that out. Maybe not totally dropped it. So the mulcher is a Loftness mulcher. It's they partnered with ASV in order to make the mulcher timed to work well with the ASV skid steer. And whether or not it's better than one of the other ones, I don't know. I originally wanted a Fecon, but the Fecon was like 10 grand more. But I've had the machine for like 2 or 3 years now. I have under 500 hours on it. I have not had to do a hydraulic oil change on it yet. So it's basically new. It's a new machine essentially. You know, I could run another 4,000 hours on it easily.
Any problems?
I have had one problem. One of the tracks has a there's a place where a connection to one of the sensors for the tracks came loose, and one of the techs ended up tightening it back up or just plugging it back in. I don't know where that was. It was somewhere under the seat, but that was easy. Nope. You know, other than that, just normal wear and tear. I mean, I have a tooth or a couple tooths that could be replaced, but that's, you know, expected because I hit a lot of rocks with it.
Now, I was watching you do the tree, but even up on the hill, it felt like it was going to flip over. Tell me what that feels like in the cab.
So over here, there's a spot where you went up with your buggy, your side-by-side. That's pretty steep. It's like that. When I go down over it, as long as I know, I just take the dive, and as long as I know it's not too far, I'll take the dive and the brake will hit on, so I'll end up stopping, and I'll hit the brake off and I'll drive forward. But on some of the spots up on the hill up here, it was just kind of, it feels like you're floaty. As long as you know what you're doing, you get a feel for it, and you make the turn and cut it. So it's not too bad. If you went over anything steep and you got stuck, that gets a little nerve-wracking. As long as if you know you're going to get out,
yes,
then it feels like you're just riding around a tank. But if you think you're going to get stuck, then that's where your heart starts to go.
Could you possibly get stuck in a situation where your implement is higher than where your door will allow you to get out?
Yes, so I was doing some mulching at my property in Maine last year when we were bringing power lines down in. And there was a spot where I took down a tree. It was a pine, maybe 12 inches.
Really?
And so I took down this pine, and somehow, and I was on a slope about like this, and somehow I ended up with the tree on top of me this way. Don't ask me how, because I can't remember exactly. But the butt end of the tree was up all the way past at the back end of my skid steer, and I was literally like this, trying to get out from underneath it and mulching or pushing myself forward, and I ended up making it so that I could spin, knock the tree off of me, and then get out of there. Like sometimes when you get in a situation like that, you just want to get out, get back onto high ground, and go, all right, what am I doing now? Why did I do that? That was dumb.
What am I doing?
Yeah, I've had a lot of what am I doing moments with the mulcher, because you get in and it's just like, you know, a bull in a china closet sometimes.
Go for it.